Well, hey Divi Nation, and welcome to a brand new Divi use case live stream where each week we show you how to add new design and functionality to your Divi websites. And today we're going to be showing you how to create a simple circular icon menu that expands on click in Divi. This menu really does highlight the powerful design capabilities of the Divi Builder when you combine it with a simple snippet of JavaScript code, and it really does work well on mobile as well. So let's go ahead and jump in and get started. But before we do, go ahead and check the video description for more information if you need it. All right, let's go ahead and jump in. So make sure and let us know where you're coming from, where you are from, and let us know if you have any questions as we go through these live streams together. It's always good to hear from you guys, and of course give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay. All right, so I see us. Okay, Uncle Social, welcome. Monique, welcome. Hello. Bruno, hello. Nice to see you guys here. It's time to feel the pain, the champagne. That is my wrestling introduction according to Uncle Social. Awesome. So Victoria, welcome. Okay, from Argentina. I'm assuming y'all can hear me okay. Good. All right. And Newman over here in Facebook, welcome. Again, please feel free to ask questions. And what we're going to be doing today, I'm going to just give you a little preview. It's actually here on my screen here. And if you notice in the bottom left corner, there's this little circular menu here. When I click on it, it's going to expand the nice little effect with my menu items here. There's 4 of them. Nice little circular pattern that opens and closes on on click rather than hover. Let me increase my screen a bit. Maybe you can see it a lot easier. So there's the design. Real simple. I kept the design really simple, but it really does showcase the power of being able to, put all of these menu items in place beforehand and then using JavaScript to turn them on and off to get that functionality. So it's going to be really cool. I hope you enjoy it and learn a little bit from it. So, all right, so the first thing you'll need, well, really the only thing you need for this tutorial is Divi. We won't be using any external assets. We will be adding a few like snippets of CSS or external CSS and JavaScript, but other than that, it's going to be pretty much all Divi we're going to be using to design this. All right, so let's jump in. What we'll want to do is get a nice, clean, blank slate, a new page created and ready to design using the Divi Builder on the front end. And so I want to add a nice 1-column row here. And let's go ahead and add a blurb module. Now, actually, let's see. I don't want to add my blurb just yet because since we will be positioning this absolutely, I'm going to need a little bit of room. So I'm going to real quickly, just a temporary thing, I'm going to add some custom spacing to my row. Just going to add some top padding here of 300 pixels. All that's doing is giving me some room for whenever I create my button, they'll have some room for them to expand and I can move them around, those menu items around a bit. Now that that's done, we can go ahead and create our first blurb. So I'm going to add a blurb module here. And you can see this default content, the image and title and body text. I'm actually going to take out that title and body text. And I'm going to click to use an icon rather than an image. I'm going to scroll and find the little hamburger icon here, and I'm going to use that. Then I'm going to go over to my design settings, and I'm going to click on my icon color here, and I'm going to make it, well, I'm just going to keep it as the default for now. I am going to use a circle. This creates my circle icon. So that's going to give me a circular background here, but I'm going to turn it a dark color. Just use a nice dark gray, almost black. And then this shows circle border. I'll just click yes to get, and keep the default border color. And I do want to use an icon font size. And I'm kind of thinking about mobile when designing this, because it really is something that really does work well on mobile. So the size, just bear in mind to make it a size that would be, that would work well on a mobile device. This is the icon font size. So this is the size of this font in the middle of this circle here. So it's 25 pixels, but I'm taking into account the total circle area as well. So as a clickable element. So that's like your button. And I think you want to make it, around 45 by 45 pixels. That would be a good clickable item on mobile. So once that's done, I'm going to do something a little bit strange. It might not make sense at the moment, but I'm going to teach you a little trick if you don't know already. I'm going to use a body text size on my blurb here, even though I don't have any text. That's because I'm going to be using the EM length unit to kind of space out my menu items. And what this is going to do is allow me to adjust the spacing of the menu elements on my menu very easily by just changing my body text, as opposed to going in and changing every little spacing on each of my menus. And I'll show you how that works, but just keep that in mind. I'm adding a body text size to each one of my menu items. And then I need a margin just to take out the default margin that's added to all modules if you're not using a gutter width of 1. And then I'm going to set it to 0. Oops. So let's take out that margin. That way I have a nice square or circular font and clickable area. Okay. All right, let's keep it rolling. Let me check the comments real quick, make sure I'm not blowing by too quickly. Vincent made a nice remark. He says the icon's too small for the eye doctor layout pack that I showed earlier. Yeah, I think you're right. This one here. Yeah, I think we could work it in as part of the eye test, I guess, before you sign up. All right, I don't think we have any questions. All right. Thanks, Pablo. Nice menu thingy. Yes, Uncle Social, I'm not using the pure black. Try to stay away from that one if I can. Make it a little bit softer on the eyes. Okay, in regards to the button, that is. All right, so enough clicking around. Let's get back to it. So I'm pretty much done with my first blurb. This is going to be kind of like my menu button that's going to be the target. So when I click it, the other menu items will show up. So what I want to do now is basically duplicate this one and to make my menu items that are going to be popping out or expanding outward. So I'm just going to save it out, and for right now we can just duplicate it on the front end here. So I'm just going to click the duplicate icon here to duplicate my blurb. And then I'm going to jump into the new blurb that was just created. And I'm going to adjust this one to have a new icon. I'll just give it the home icon there. And then I'm going to change it, my Z index, because I want this one to hide behind my main, I'll call it my main menu icon here. So I just want to make sure and give my, oh, I know what I did. Sorry. Yes. I think I skipped a step, but I just want to make sure I get it right first. Okay, yeah. All right, so here's what I did wrong. So I duplicated it, which is fine. But what I want to make sure and do is go back to my main menu. I apologize. My main menu button, that's the one that I need to make sure and set the visibility Z index to 1, because I want that one to sit above all of the others. So now that one has a Z index of 1, the rest of them will have a Z index of 0. So in the order, in Z space, the main menu item will sit above the other ones, which we will kind of toggle back and forth, hiding behind that menu item. So make sure that this visibility is set to 0 index for the next one that you duplicate. All right, so once that's done, I'm going to go to my design options for this icon here, and I'm going to set my, transform. I'm going to scale it down a bit. So one of the great uses of the transform scale CSS property here, I'm going to scale it down to 70%. So I'm going to hold shift, click it 3 times down to 70%. All right, so that, which is cool because we're going to be using JavaScript to toggle on and off the transform property. So this will begin as a full size, but then it will scale down to 70% on click, just to show you again what that looks like. So if I click on it, you'll see it starts out big and grows small. Those little menu items there. So that's what I'm doing there. Shrink back my zoom there. Okay, so continuing on, I think that does it. All I need to do now is save it out and duplicate this one. Let's do it 3 times because we want a total of 4 menu items. And then once we're done, we're going to stack them all behind our main menu item here. To do that, I'm just going to use the Multiselect feature built into Divi. Just going to hold Control or Command and click each of my 4 sub-menu items here, my 4 blurbs. And then I'm going to open the settings for one of them, which will open the element settings that will control all 4 of these at once. Basically, whatever I add to this will affect all of them. So it's a nice, quick, and easy way to update a bunch of blurbs at once. And what I want to do is give them all a snippet of custom CSS on the main element, which is going to position them absolutely for now. Eventually, we'll change it to fixed, but for now, we're just going to keep it absolute. So, and this code is found in the blog post that went out this morning that goes along with this use case. Feel free to check that out as well. So I'm going to post that in here. And it adds a position of absolute and the position on the bottom 20 pixels and the left 20 pixels. So a little bit of spacing so it doesn't hug completely to the bottom and to the left. Also on mobile, you might want to position this on the opposite. Maybe for user experience, you want it on the right side, or for whatever reason, you can do that as well. Just change this left to right, and then you would have to, of course, do the opposite when we get to the transform translate options to make all the menu items go to the left. All right, so that's that. I'll click there. Oh, and I should have clicked on all of them. Sorry. I didn't click on all of my blurbs. I just clicked on the 4. We actually need to position all of them with the absolute position, not just the 4 blurbs. So there we go. So now all of them have my absolute positioning to the bottom left here. And right now it's going to be to the bottom left of the column, or the row, I should say, for now. Okay. So now they're all stacked behind one another. You can't really see them, but they're there. And they're all the same size. Well, actually they're not. The other 4 sitting behind are slightly smaller right now, but we're going to change that. Okay. Now we get to go into our wireframe view mode, because now they're all stacked together. It doesn't really make sense to edit on the visual builder there, because I can't click on items as easily. So this is where the wireframe view mode comes into play. So here we have our main menu item, and then we have our first one here. Call it 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, so we don't need to change our main menu item, so we're going to click on our blurb number 1 here. And that's our menu item. And we're going to go and update the transform translate option. So I'm going to come to my transform option here, and I'm going to go to translate, and this is where you position it. So I'm going to toggle back to my desktop view mode now that I have my blurb settings open. It's a little trick there in case you want to have the best of both worlds of going into your wireframe view mode, clicking some settings open, and then toggling back. That way you can see the design in real time. You can do that. So I'm going to click on my transform translate, unclick my lock here so I can edit both the X and Y axis separately. And I'm going to give my X axis a -10 EM. So now the EM is directly relative to the 20 pixel body text size that I gave all of my blurbs. So just if you were wondering what that was, that's what that EM is doing. It's going to be relative to the 10 times 20 pixels basically is what that's doing. Okay. And then I want to keep this one 0. So now you can see it's positioned directly above, which is nice. So I'm going to save that out. Go back to my wireframe view mode. Click on my number 2 blurb there. Go to my transform settings. Go to my transform translate option. Toggle back my desktop view mode. And I mean, honestly, what's cool about this is I can use this and position it anywhere I want. And then that's where it'll be whenever you click the menu item. So you can get real creative if you want, like maybe put one out here or close together, stagger them. It's up to you. That's kind of like the cool thing about the power of using Divi with this JavaScript to toggle on and off the transform options. All right, so a -8.6 EM here. And then let's make this one 5. There's actually a really complicated geometric equation to make sure that this is actually going to be exactly on a circular, uh, on the perimeter, I guess you could say, equal distance from the center point of the circle, so all the radiuses are the same. You get what I'm saying. Real complicated, but this is, you can kind of eyeball it, or you can, break out your calculators and figure it out, but this is pretty close, in case you were wondering. All right, so let's do the next one. I'm going to save this out, go to my wireframe view mode, and let's go to number 3. Let's go to my transform options. Let's do translate. I'm going to give this one, I think it's 5 EM, excuse me, -5 EM, and then 8.6 EM. Save that. And the last one, keep that 0, and let's do 10 EM. There we go. So that looks nice and all aligned really well. So I'm going to save that out. And now we're going to add the classes that we need to get the JavaScript to work. But before I do that, I do want to welcome you. If you're just joining us or came in late, welcome to a brand new Divi use case live stream, where each week we show you how to add new design and functionality to your Divi website. And today I'm showing you how to create a simple circular icon menu that expands on click in Divi. And don't forget to check out the video description for more info on this use case. And if you don't have Divi yet, there's a link in the video description as well to our product page, so you can check it out as well. All right, let's get back to it. Looking like everybody is pretty good on questions so far. So again, feel free to ask any questions that you would like to ask, and I will try my best. And if I can't answer it, I'm sure someone on the chat might take a crack at it as well. All right, so let's continue on. I have everything in place. Let's go back to my wireframe view mode. We're going to add some classes here. The first class I'm going to add is a CSS class, I should say. I'm going to add is to my main menu item, because this is my target. So I'm just going to add it here, CSS ID and classes under the advanced tab. And I'm going to click on CSS class, not CSS ID, sorry. CSS class, and I'm going to paste in this transform target. This is what basically telling I'm going to use the JavaScript to basically tell it that this is the one I'm going to target on click. So when I click this blurb here, that's going to initiate the other effect. So that's my target. That's important. I'll save that. Now I want to use my my multi-select to select all 4 of my submenu items. And I'm going to open those, and then I'm going to add the same CSS class. There's 2 of them I'm going to add. First one is called, I just named it has transform, and then I put a space, and then the next one is called toggle transform animation. So the first one is basically letting the code know that this is an element that has transform options, basically the transform translate that moved it. So basically I'm saying that element has that. And then the toggle transform animation is how I'm going to turn the transform element on and off. And so those two are going to be important. And then I'm going to add the code. So once those are in place, I'm going to save it. Now to add the code, I'm just going to add it to a code module. We could go into the theme options, add it to the header or the body, the JavaScript code, and then add the CSS to my page settings if I wanted to. But I'm just going to put it all into a CSS, a code module, both the CSS and the JavaScript, so that we can see what that looks like. And it's all in one place. In fact, whenever you download the JSON file that I've included in the blog post for this, you can download it for free. This is how I've done it, so you can go in and look at the code there, and it'll kind of carry on with the JSON file nicely. So code module. All right, let's open that up, enlarge it a bit. And I'm just going to paste in my code. The first one is my CSS code. And basically I needed some, external CSS to add a transform duration, which makes the menu items kind of expand out at 400 milliseconds total duration there. And then this is the transform toggle transform animation. You see that let me go ahead and build it up a little bit so you can maybe see it better. And then this one actually turns on and off. So basically I'm taking off and on the transform option. And of course you don't have to understand any of this for this to work. You can just copy and paste it. And then the transform target, the cursor pointer, making sure that it looks clickable when you hover over it. And this little snippet basically turns the background of my main menu button there transparent when you click on it for a cool effect. Of course, you can change it to whatever you want or take it out. So that's my CSS. Make sure you wrap it in a style tag if you are adding it to a code module or within your page, within the HTML of your page, for this to work. Next, I'm going to paste in my JavaScript code. And that's going to be wrapped in a script tag. So make sure you do that. And there it is right here. There's my JavaScript code. And basically just telling that when I click on that transform target element, that main menu button, I'm going to toggle on and off all of those the transforms options on and off on all those menu items there. Real simple. All right, so let me save that out and let's see what it looks like so far on the live page. So there you go. It's looking nice. Let's go ahead and make it fixed. All right. Now to make the menu fixed, I'm just going to open up the code. Sorry, not the code module. Sorry, the main menu, or actually all of them. So I'm going to have to really quickly just use Multiselect to edit all of my blurbs, including the main menu. So all of them. Open them up here. Go to my advanced tab. Go to my custom CSS. And wherever it says the absolute here, so the position is absolute, we want to change that to fixed. So that's it. Just change that one word in the code. And that's going to position it fixed in the browser at the bottom left. So I'm just going to save that out. And there it is, floating down there at the bottom left. Now, if I want to add it to let's say we want to add it to one of our pre-made layouts or to your own website, this is how you would do that. I'm just going to go ahead and click on load from library, and let's go ahead and add a pre-made layout. Let's go ahead and keep the eye doctor example, and let's go ahead and use that. Make sure not to select replace existing content, because we want to keep our button, and then click use this layout. You can see that the layout loaded right under my section with my padding and my code. Just take out that padding I added in the very beginning. And I can actually just, bring this all the way down if I wanted to here. I can actually take all the spacing out, maybe give it take out the height so that it fits flush if you wanted to. But something you're going to want to do is make sure that you have, even though it's floated outside of my section and row, it still kind of is technically in the code contained within the row. So you want to go to the row settings, and you want to make sure and set that Z index to, I believe it's 11 or something like that. That way it sits above all of the other rows on the page, the content. I'm going to go ahead and save that out. And let's refresh. So there it is. As you can see, it fits over the content as you scroll down. Now, if you wanted to make sure, or if you wanted to, of course, you will want to add, URLs to these menu items. And to do that, you'll simply, I'm going to go to wireframe view mode, and let's say for the first menu item, excuse me. Oh, I double clicked it, sorry. So for the first, let's go back down to my buttons here. My first one, I'll want to make sure and set the URL under the link here. So under blurb content link, set it for the module. So module link URL will basically be your menu URL. All right. And then so that way, when you click on that menu item, it'll take you where you want it to go. All right, that's about it. Let me go over to my questions or the video chat here. All right, looks like we're good to go. All right, let me show you the last final result one more time, nice and big. So here's your button here. You can see it's fixed now at the bottom left. And when I click on it, those menu items pop up nicely. And of course, all of this can be customized and designed to your liking using the Divi Builder built-in settings. Of course, you might want to add a box shadow here to make the button kind of stand out a little bit, or switch out the colors if you want. You can even use Divi's built-in hover options to add additional hover options on these menu items when you hover over them as well. So a lot of stuff, cool stuff you can do. But all right. Oh, okay. That's it. That's all I got for you today. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Please be sure to subscribe to our blog newsletter, our YouTube channel, and like us on Facebook. That way you don't miss out on any future live streams or freebies we'll be throwing your way in the future. Don't forget to check out our next live stream, which will be this Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. It's the weekly WP Roundup. And also check us out next Tuesday with another Divi use case live stream at 3 p.m. Eastern as well. You can also check out the video description for more information on how you can contribute to our blog here on elegantthemes.com/blog. Thanks again for watching. We look forward to seeing you in our next video.